Welcome everyone to another JDM racing video. It's round 16 of this JDM season and we're at Monza in Italy, Ferrari country, ready for the Italian Grand Prix, and Q1 coming up in just a moment. So here we are on board then in the latter part of the lap for Q1, and we are coming down the back straight and about to finish this lap in Q1 as we are behind our teammate at the moment. Not yet posted a time though. We should hopefully, if pace is anything to go by in the last couple of rounds, be up towards the front, and yes, just behind Russell in 4th place. Results of Q1 then: Perez and Verstappen top of the timesheets, Russell in 3rd. So Red Bull looking like they've got an extremely quick package around this circuit, much to Ferrari's chagrin, but we're right up in the mix, so it's good news for us. And so joining the Q2 session, we are in a good place. I think we're always concerned about straight line speed, but I think around here we've proven to be not so bad. I think we should be up in contention for points at least. Let's see where we end up. So we ended up right on the cusp in 10th position, but that wasn't enough to translate into a slot for Q3. We end up 11th.
Welcome back to one of only 2 countries that has held a race every year since the very first Formula One World Championship in 1950. It is, of course, Italy, one of the great racing nations, and it's time to get underway for the Italian Grand Prix. With the rain coming down here at the 3.6-mile Monza circuit, the low drag setups preferred by most teams could cause them some problems in today's Grand Prix. So watch out for cars struggling for grip around the Curva Michele Alboreto. That's the Parabolica to you and me, the last and most demanding of this track's 11 corners. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Hamilton, George Russell and Sainz, Norris, Ricciardo, Fernando Alonso and Mick Schumacher, Gardner, Stroll, Esteban Ocon and Gasly, Tsunoda, Vettel, Alex Albon and Guan Yu Zhou, Latifi, Oscar Piastri, Magnussen and Valtteri Bottas begins the race from the back of the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. Anthony Davidson, a very warm welcome to you as you join me in the commentary box for today's event. Let's talk about Gardner. That was a great podium in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
There are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out would have boosted their confidence coming into this one.
Right then, the formation lap has started, and I must say the weather conditions aren't the best today for visibility and for grip. As each driver performs this lap, they'll be wanting to settle in and concentrate, as this race, in these conditions, will require a lot of focus. As the cars come back towards the grid to line up for the start of the race, each driver will be wanting to get the best start they possibly can, and they'll be hoping to finish today's race on the podium, failing that, within the points.
So Red Bull locking out the front row, Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez on the first 2 slots of the grid. Charles Leclerc just behind, leading Ferrari's charge at their own Grand Prix. We're just outside the points. I'm going to try and get inside once again. Lights out, away we go. Ocon and Stroll both go by. bump there. And there goes Mick Schumacher's Haas up the inside. Got somebody down the outside now. We're going to dive bomb from quite far back into this chicane. We take Mick Schumacher back for 11th again. Beginning of the race then. Recap of the start. The two Red Bulls on the front row. Max Verstappen on your right. Sergio Perez on your left. And they come off the start line. Sergio Perez had to wiggle out of the way of Verstappen there as he moved across on him a little bit. He's got right to the inside. Braking into turn one. Oh, they almost touch. Verstappen, Perez has just gone around the outside and he's taken the lead of the Italian Grand Prix. Sergio Perez leads his teammate Max Verstappen. Lewis Hamilton in third, followed by Charles Leclerc. So the Tifosi cheering on Charles Leclerc. He's only in fourth place at the moment. Got right up on the curb then.
Okay, the start was fine. Let's try and move forward.
Stroll up in ninth. That's quite surprising to me, but he's not too shabby in the wet, Lance Stroll. Alonso tucked right underneath his rear wing. And it looks like Perez has gotten into the lead then, set the fastest lap. And now Alonso slipstreaming without DRS down the inside of Lance Stroll. Now we've got Mick Schumacher again. He's going to go down the outside of us. So quick, that Haas.
Let's use overtake and burn off some of this energy.
We're quite good under braking though, so we can see that challenge off. Stroll looked like he got up on those curbs a little bit there, unsettled the car. Can we have a dive bomb into the parabolica? Yes, we can. Up into 10th. It looks like Sergio Perez is covering it off at the front.
The track is clear, green flag.
Charles Leclerc now with the fastest lap. So the Ferrari coming back at the Red Bulls a little bit. We've dropped Stroll, but Alonso is proving difficult to get close enough to try and overtake. Looks like we're a lot closer this time. Got the slipstream, going to give it an extra little ERS boost. He blocks the inside, we're going to go down the outside. We'll get the move done on Alonso. Now we're just going to need to defend it. Just block the outside line there, stop him from trying to take the slipstream and get a run on us down into the next chicane. Alonso, of course, announcing his retirement, so he's still giving it as good as he can get. Still battling for points. even in these last couple of races of his career.
Okay, be careful. I think you're going to start losing some tyre grip anytime now.
So if our middle sector was better, we could have got fastest lap there. Lap 11, Max Verstappen in second place on his teammate Sergio Perez. Goes down the inside into the Parabolica. He's down the inside. He's just got the lead, but now he's had to back out again. And he will tuck back into the slipstream. And he's come to the right of his teammate. Down the straight. And Max Verstappen, can he outbrake him into turn one? He outbrakes Perez. Is he going to leave him some room on the inside? He does. But Verstappen has made that move stick. And now Max Verstappen with 2 laps to go. The top 4 separated by less than 2 seconds, it looks like. And Verstappen leads from Perez, Hamilton and Leclerc. And we will go into the last lap with the 2 Red Bulls leading, but this time it's Verstappen in front.
Right, we've got enough fuel for 3 more laps.
Send one up the inside from a long way back. And we take Ricciardo
Nice move, keep going.
for 8th with a lap. Well, 2 laps to go. An alternate lap. So Max Verstappen leading his teammate. He's pulled out a little bit of a gap on Perez in the closing laps. And Max Verstappen has fought back today. And he's going to go top of the Drivers' Championship. Max Verstappen wins the Italian Grand Prix for Red Bull. And that was a splendid drive in wet, tricky conditions.
Congratulations. Awesome drive.
Amazing Sunday, guys. Gone with a rocket ship all weekend. Unbelievable.
Max, you've been brilliant all weekend. Class of your own, mate. Absolutely well deserved. Enjoy it.
So we crossed the line. We may have even nicked fastest lap there. 8th place. Not bad. And driver of the day.
Brilliant stuff from Red Bull today. What a superb victory. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
Well, I honestly feel
Max
it's down to the
Verstappen.
driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently, and it's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be so proud of the victory they secured here.
So Leclerc didn't manage to get on the podium, so no Ferrari home race podium. A Red Bull 1-2. That's not what the Tifosi would have wanted going into this weekend. It's a bit of a nightmare for them. Ecstasy for Adrian Newey and Red Bull, soaked in the champagne. Okay then, so Max Verstappen wins the Italian Grand Prix from his teammate Sergio Perez for a Red Bull 1-2. Lewis Hamilton taking the final podium spot 1.3 seconds back. Charles Leclerc couldn't get the job done, couldn't get that podium for Ferrari, and Lando Norris comes home 5th in the McLaren, which is a good result for them. Carlos Sainz in the sister Ferrari, he was not on the pace of Charles Leclerc, his teammate, this weekend, but he does manage to get a 6th place. George Russell drops a few positions from qualifying and basically swaps with Norris, and gets a decent clutch of points for Mercedes. We managed to break from just outside the points into the points. Fairly simple race for us, really. We kept Stroll and Schumacher back, followed Alonso around, eventually took Alonso after pacing ourselves, and then in the closing stages managed to dive bomb Ricciardo for that 8th place, and then managed the gap to the end. So Ricciardo and Alonso again in that battle with us for the 5th, 6th and 7th place in the constructors. Constantly JDM, McLaren and Alpine battling each other for the points. We got the best of that today with 4 of them. Lance Stroll just outside the he must have had a great start, because he was just outside the points to start with, got up to either 9th or 8th, and then was just gradually falling back as the race wore on. Schumacher qualified well, but again, same as Stroll, fell backwards during the race. Gasly and Ocon, the 2 Frenchmen, that's I would say disappointing result for them this weekend, especially with Gasly having won here a couple of years ago. He would have been wanting better than 13th, but the AlphaTauri doesn't look like, Tsunoda down in 16th, doesn't look like they had the pace this weekend in the car. Although Ocon, compared to his teammate, you would think maybe he should have been closer to the top 10. Zhou and Bottas, Zhou outperforming Bottas once again, so he's having a mini revival in the second half of the season, but again their car is not fantastic. Albon and Latifi pretty much down the back. Magnussen outperformed by Schumacher this weekend, but he has put some good Grand Prix races in, points positions as well for Kevin Magnussen, so a rare off form weekend from K-Mag. Sebastian Vettel, former Ferrari driver, it would have been disappointing to finish so far down, and interesting from Oscar Piastri, he got a 1:04 and a DNF. So I'm thinking he probably just didn't finish the lap, and the game has just broken and cut him off before he could finish his lap. That's because there's no way that anybody in the wet could circulate in 1 minute and 4 seconds. So I'm pretty sure that's something that's broken the game there. So I think a 1:31.8 was our fastest lap. So we've technically been stolen. We've had another point stolen by F1 22. Thanks, EA. Best game. So Oscar finishes plumb last. DNF. He's not classified. We'll have to figure out why that is in the when I go and look at the replay. But I think that's a game bug. In terms of the championship, Carlos Sainz and Max Verstappen equal on points after round 16 of 22. Charles Leclerc are a further 11 points back, with Sergio Perez 25 points back, 1 race win. So the top 4 drivers all still in with a shout of winning this championship with 6 races to go. Lewis Hamilton and George Russell are best of the rest, and followed by Lando Norris, and we are very, very close now. So Lando Norris with his 5th place has now overtaken us in the championship. Constructor standings. Ferrari have had a massive chunk taken out of their lead at the top by Red Bull with their 1-2 this weekend. Mercedes still sitting pretty there in third place. Doesn't look like they're going to catch Red Bull. Doesn't look like they're going to be caught by McLaren. So they're pretty much done. We would need some help from Oscar Piastri to take the fight to McLaren. So I don't think that is going to be a realistic goal to try and usurp McLaren by the end of the season. So we've just got to look to hold on to 5th place and outperform Alpine. I think that's going to be our target. So that rounds out the Italian Grand Prix for this F1 22 JDM Season 1. It was not the most eventful, but it was quite a tricky race, and we still had to work pretty hard to get 8th place. We could have just settled and taken the 10th, but we got a couple more points on Alpine, and that was much needed. So without further ado, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe if you're not already for more JDM racing action, or if you're into the wrestling, for the wrestling as well. And until the next race, I will bid you adieu, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.